All right, here we go with this edition of ESPN FC Extra Time. And this time, I actually
should have seen his face yesterday, Shaq.
Yesterday, I was
so he comes in.
Wait a second.
There's only him and I. There's only Aid and I. And we come in, and he goes, "Welcome into FC Extra Time." And I'm thinking, I said, "You ain't got the questions, have you?"
Right.
And he went,
I'm missing something. Something missing. I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
I'll something here.
All right, let's get going with Ezio, who says, if each of the guys were youngsters in a football academy in today's era of football, how do you think their football would develop? In contrast with how it actually developed in your era, would they play the same position? Would they play in the same clubs?
You know, things have changed so much, and I don't know about the other guys' experience, but my experience, without going into a long story, because
it's extra time. You can
try and brief it up in some sort of summary, is when I moved to Chelsea at 16 years old and down to London, what the apprentices did then, they mucked in and did all the jobs, they got all the professionals' kits ready, they washed it, they cleaned the boots, they cleaned the toilets, they trained, they got the balls and bibs, they cleaned everything, got ready for the next day, and then you had less time to work on the technical aspects of your game. But you learned a lot through the hardships of what it was going to take to be a professional, i.e. doing all the hard graft behind the scenes. Now, which one is better? I think there's an argument for both, because one certainly grounds you a lot more, and the other one should help you on your technical side. So, you know, back in the late 80s and early 90s, the youngsters did all the dirty jobs that nobody wants to do, and then only they worked on the actual footballing side of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the youngsters don't do that now. There is a mountain of team behind the scenes that do all the crappy jobs, and these youngsters, you know, just concentrate on the ball skills and the training and all that sort of, and the diet. It's just different now.
Yeah, Craig, it only works for England. That kind of work that you were asking for to the young players, the boot boys. It didn't exist in France. It was forbidden to do that already. Yeah. So we didn't have that. And when I was at the academy, I was just following courses like a normal guy going to school, and then we were training in the morning and sometimes in the afternoon. But the football has changed so much. So. I don't know how would I behave nowadays. What I like is the fact that I wasn't the strongest and the best defender in the world, which is kind of the case right now with the defender. So I guess it would have been a perfect world for me.
Yeah. Would it have been different for you, Shaka, in this era?
Well, yeah. I
came through the college. You came through the college system.
I went to university here in the States before going out to England. So yeah, it definitely would have been different for me. It's just such a contrast from what I did. I can't say where.
I cleaned the boots of Mickey Hazard and Graham Roberts and people like that. And I remember as a youngster, and you know, the old Franco remember the old training ground at Hayes and Harlington, which was rented from the university. It wasn't salubrious at all. And I remember at 16, 17 just walking in after training to pick up all the dirty kit and the towels and everything. But there was a couple of pros in the dressing room. Who shall remain nameless, and I walked in to pick up all the garbage and all the gear, and they were like, "What are you doing? Get out! Get out the dressing room! Don't just walk in here. When you want to come in here, you knock and ask to come in. So go out and knock and ask." So I went out, right, closed the door, and knocked on it, and they said, "What do you want?" I said, "I've come to get the kit." They said, "Sod off." You know, you were listen. It was just different.
I think it's really interesting. We just in the main show we talked about Norway. I mean, to the question, if you see all the young kids coming through the system of Norway now, is it because we're doing that system much better? It's no secret that Frank's background from France, I mean, that was an example nearly for whole Europe, how you develop your players in your country, and now we've done that as Norway. My background, I come from a very small village with 900 people. When I was 14, my dad was my coach. And I said to him, yeah, but that is a problem because you are half of the year you are at the oil ship. And he said, yeah, that's no problem because the guy on the other shift who is half a year home, he can train you there, but he's never been a coach. So this is 5 years before this is 5 years before I played for my country. What I will say is that maybe we had a passion, maybe we had a will. I was very good at training, the finishing, and all those kind of things. When I see back on my career now, I would love to have understood it, or have someone to tell me to work more in the strength, more on your details, more in the sprinting things. I remember when that got in fashion in England around 95, 96, when you got special coaches in. I was nearly coming to my 30s, and I felt progress. I felt I got better. I mean, imagine how good I could have been. Maybe, Frank, I could have been a world champion like you. I mean, no idea how good I could have been.
I'm just picturing it, yeah. Picturing it.
Is your parents, your dad's still alive?
My dad is alive, yes.
He must be all that training, all these years, he must be so proud of you having watched that video, getting beaten by a fish.
Boys, I have to tell you, my guest at the game yesterday was Karsten Warholm, the 400-meter hurdles winner, the gold medal winner. And he came in with his coach, and he said to me, Jan, that video of you, because that was in their event, I was ruining that, and they said, I have never seen a way of running as you did that. That is the funniest video I've ever seen.
All right.
Just realised I played with way too many Norwegian players.
You did, didn't you? Yeah, there was a lot in your era.
Grodas.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Lars Bohinen. Vidar Riseth. Oh my God, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland, the only one you had to, when I have said that before, but I was sharing room with him, and in the national team, I had to wear shin pads when I was sleeping.
All right, Stevie's mince dealer has resurfaced with another question. I don't know how he has
Did I ever
time.
tell you about the time that I dropped my teeth in Ellen? This is a true story. Sorry to interrupt. I put, as you know, when I used to play at Chelsea, until I finished, I had dentures, right, on the front because they were knocked out. And I used to put them in a pocket, obviously when I was out on the field. And by mistake, I put them in Erling Haaland's pocket, who was sat next to me and in the dressing room. And I was in the shower taking a lot of time after a game at Stamford Bridge, and he got dressed quickly, right? And left and went home.
Walked off with your dentures?
And I had to call him. And he was halfway across London in a car, and he had to come back with my teeth.
Only in England. Only in England.
I said, Erland. He says, what is it? He says, I said, you'll need to come back to Stamford Bridge. He says, why? I said, put your hand in your right-hand pocket. You've got my teeth. I tell you, he was not a happy chappie. Because you know, the traffic in London is not the best.
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
But he delivered them.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yep. All right. That was
It's like,
very entertaining.
Yeah, you know we go on
well, you can't. That's very important. You know, you can't go anywhere without your teeth.
No, you cannot.
Important.
Stevie's Minister wants to know which team from the bottom three at the Premier League table right now has the best chance of turning around for a mid-table finish. Wolves, Forest, or West Ham? Who wants to?
West Ham. I'm going for West Ham.
I knew you were going to say West
I'm
Ham.
not biased at all.
You have to have a reason.
Biased at all.
Forest.
No, you have to have a reason. It's not randomly. You say West Ham. You know?
Nuno Espirito Santo will turn things around. He'll get it organised and he'll turn things around.
You're saying Forest.
Forest, because they've proven with the players that they've got that they can play an organised style, and they have a manager who will organise.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going back into the Nuno Espirito Santo way under Sean Dyche, and I think that will benefit them.
Frank, who's got the best
Yeah,
shot?
I agree with Craig. You know, according to what I saw last season and the player that Forest still have, I think they have the biggest chance to get out of that those three last points.
Yeah. Any disagreement, Jan?
No, not at all. I agree with the boys. The quality of the players in Nottingham Forest that's the wrong position anyway. And now they got a manager who kind of we developed that even further.
Yeah.
I once saw Erling Jonsson. Right, I have to say this. This is true. This is true.
Danger story.
No. Listen, we every year we used to go to Cheltenham races, as you know, the Cheltenham Gold Cup, big horse racing in the UK once a year, and the Chelsea boys, we used to go there once a year for Gold Cup Day, and we said to Erling, the boys all said to Erling, listen, last year you were on the edge. Well, let's just say...
I know what that means.
No, let's just say that alcohol affects Erling a little different.
Right.
Last year you were on the edge, you know, and he's a big man to be on the edge. Say, listen, pace yourself this year. Pace yourself, right? He said, yes. No, but I'm pacing myself, right? 3 hours later, right? Somebody's got a leg, somebody's got the other leg, and two people have got the arms, and he's getting carried from the corporate area of the Cheltenham Gold Cup across all the muddy fields back to the bus. I thought I told you to pace yourself, and he was like that.
I mean, hello. This is Erling Jonsson, one of my best friends. I have to defend him now on American TV. I mean, I have to call him tomorrow, and I'm sorry, Granddad, because he's a granddad now. Sorry, Granddad, you've been all over American TV about being pissed at the horses.
Ask him about how drunk he was at the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Don't start again. Erling Jonsson, and we all know that. Very good attitude, player of the year in Chelsea, fantastic football player, and a great mate.
If he's your friend, you know, tell him thank you, because he gave me the first goal, the good assist with his left foot. I think that was mostly an accident with his left foot. He gave me a cross, and I headed it and I scored. That's because of Erling Jonsson. I scored my first goal for Chelsea.
I will call him tomorrow and say that, Frank. And for those who don't know Erling Jonsson, if Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator met Erling Jonsson as his top, he would turn around Schwarzenegger.
All right.
Because Erling Jonsson, he was a tough,
I know what we need to go.
player.
Listen,
That's true.
He came out with one of the great lines one day. Sorry to move it, but again, there may allegedly been some alcohol involved here.
Allegedly. Yeah.
No,
Stop.
no. We didn't do it very often, Jan, but we met. About 20 of us met in a London pub one night for a bonding session, and again, Erling struggled with the pacing himself part of it. So anyway, him and Kevin Hitchcock, who was my best man, and he's an East End of London boy, so he's a bit of a hard guy, and Erling's a big guy. Well, they started punching each other, right? But not
as you do,
and it was getting harder, and harder, right? But it wasn't full out, but it was going that way. So we split them up. Anyway, it was like, the drink was involved. So Erling walks in the next day to the training ground at Hayes and Harlington, and he walked into the dressing room and he went, another embarrassing evening.
This is the Erling Jonsson show. I mean, unbelievable.
Tell him he's famous in America.
Yeah.
But a bonding, for all those Americans listening to this, a bonding session in England is not like a bonding session in any other country in the world.
Well, Jan, moving on. Question for you, because you brought up America.
Okay.
Dan's fancy dress shorts wants to know, Jan, with Norway looking set for qualification, what advice would you give the team about playing in North America based on your experience in '94?
Stop drinking.
First of all, I mean, we lived at a place and we were so prepared. We were so prepared on everything. Just we done everything wrong. We trained with these plastic bags at home in Norway to get used to the warm. That was what we did. It's terrible. We played Sweden before the World. We played Sweden before the World Cup. They had Dahlin, they had Brolin, they had Stefan Schwarz. They had a fantastic team. Remember that? Henrik Larsson. I mean, that fantastic team. And we were trying to do everything new. And it was so hot. I mean, we can't believe how hot that was during the 1994. And in the middle of the day, one of my teammates, a guy called Mini Jakobsen, he organized a tennis tournament in the middle of, it was a humidity of 120 and 50 degrees. And we were crawling around. We trained too hard and did we had a time of our life. I'm so proud to have played at the World Cup in the USA. but the preparation were bad, and the general secretary of the Norwegian Football Association, now he was in that squad, so we have learned. So we will prepare ourselves a bit better now.
Just shows you how antiquated back in the day the thought process was, and at club level, players used to do it as well with bin bags and trash bags, or whatever you want to call them here, to sweat. Jan saying they trained with bags on them to prepare for the heat in America. So that way of thinking is, you're dehydrating yourself
Exactly.
to come and play in a hot country where you're going to have to hydrate. But it just shows you how back then, people just didn't grasp the sports science part of it.
Yeah. Well, Jan, follow-up question for you. Given the preparation that Norway are going to be undergoing, perhaps, will Norway go further in the World Cup than England?
Well, let's put this today. I mean, I've been traveling through Europe. There are going to be 6,000 Norwegians on San Siro on Sunday. I mean, and all of them were on my plane. So, based on a very unofficial survey, Norway will not only win the World Cup, we won't concede any goal, and Erling Haaland will score around 25 goals at the World Cup. So that's the mood of Norway just right now. Quite realistically, I think it's all depends. The 5th of December. The draw, who we're going to draw. We have weaknesses at the back, need to be said. We need to have our key players going. As Craig was saying in the show, Martin Ødegaard not even playing at the moment. He is decisive for us, and you have to keep that big man up front going, because when you have him, again yesterday he had I'm not saying he had a day off. He just had a typical Erling Haaland. He was doing his stuff, being the leader, being the captain, and then bang, bang, bang. Then him and Sørloth have scored 4 goals in 10 minutes.
Our preparation was for, I think it was either Euro 96 or France 98. But I think it was Euro 96. We came to the US here both times. And our preparation was we invited Rod Stewart to come and train with us.
Make you run faster.
I love that.
No, he did. He came and trained with us, and worryingly, didn't look out of place.
If I can say, we stayed at Princeton. We did everything wrong. I mean, we haven't learned from the French or the Germans, because we knew best ourselves, of course, in 1994. So after we moved out of Princeton, Bulgaria came in with Stoichkov. They were only swimming around, drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. Yeah. And they got further than us, of course. And
we went to that evening, or the next evening, a Rod Stewart concert in Madison Square Garden. And we were all, and this is true.
That's not inspirational, I don't know.
We were up on the stage doing the Congo.
Yeah.
He invited I don't know how many Madison Square Garden holds, maybe 20,000 or something. Anyway, this was soccer was happening here, but certainly wasn't as big. So he said, here's the Scottish soccer team, and we're up doing the Congo, and 20,000 American goes, who the hell are this lot? On the stage. I tell you what, fun. You wouldn't get that now, would you?
No.
And it was a bonding night as well.
Yeah.
I got lost in New York. Oh, that's another story.
Fight, you brought him up.
What, Rod?
Yeah, well, Rod as well. Is Haaland the best player in the world right now? To aid this Norway effort at the World Cup, ask AJ.
He's not even in the top 20 in the Premier League.
Frank, is he? Is he the best player in the world at the moment?
Doesn't mean anything. He's a bad goalkeeper. So if you compare him to another goalkeeper, he's crap. So no, he's a really now the best striker in the world. That's for sure.
The hottest property, I would say.
Yeah.
He's the hottest. I mean, he there's a lot of good players, but he is at the moment just the go-to man, isn't he?
Right.
Week in, week out for club and country.
Yeah.
Just to define him yesterday, boys, at the end. I mean, he didn't go into the dressing room. He just got a jacket on, didn't take a shower, just came out with his match fit, put his jacket on, didn't talk to any press, put himself in the bus. They were driving there 10 minutes to the hotel. They stopped, and he went into a Hamburg shop and bought 60 hamburgers for the staff and the players, and then they went back to the hotel. That's where he is at the moment.
Great stuff, boys.
Well, he can't go out incognito, can he?
No, he can't.
No.
It's a bit difficult.
You know, Well,
How are you going to disguise that?
Maybe put a false nose and some glasses on him. Get away with it. I don't know.
Your teeth. Use your teeth.
Yeah.
So an extra time, just to sum up, that included dentures and bin bags and
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart. Yeah. You only get it one place, don't you? Right here. ESPN FC, of course, available daily